nice.
She loves me to death. I thought I had a perfect marriage. Life couldn't be better.
The ultimate act of betrayal.
Planning my brother's death.
I did everything she asked me to. She said, I want you to kill my husband. It was my birthday. We came down here. Lots of drinks. It's your lucky night tonight. Felt as if I was the luckiest man in the world. She walked me to my own death. Like a lamb to the slaughter. Slit my throat. Sent shivers down my spine. And I just felt just a knife being dug into my torso.
Vicky is a very conniving bitch.
She must have been watching me just getting killed.
She's a snake.
Yelled out to her, look after the kids and I love you.
I just saw you, bitch. You, bitch.
I've just come here to confess
She's very evil.
I am guilty of that.
Why would you want to kill the father of your children?
I'm sorry for it. I am.
Hello, come on. What would you like? Come on, make us some eggs. Come on, it's time to go to school. You want to sit there, we'll have some breakfast? Come on. Timmy, Andrew.
It's breakfast time in the Soteriou household.
Come on, finish your breakfast. We're going to brush our teeth and get ready.
Chris is a good dad, raising his children alone. His wife is no longer on the scene.
It's just such a long story.
Person you loved, treasured, organised to kill you. Why would you want to kill the father of your children?
And I'm sorry for it. I am.
Chris Soteriou is the son of Andrew and Lula. He has a brother and two sisters. His Greek Cypriot family emigrated to Australia in 1976. After leaving school, Chris became a civil engineer, and a good one at that. By his 20s, he was already earning good money. In 1991, he met Vicky Scarlatos at the house of a mutual friend. He liked what he saw, but he was already married and nothing happened.
Do you remember the first moment you laid eyes on Vicky?
Yeah. She was a knockout. She looked very sexy. She was very attractive. She was well built in the right places.
A year later, Chris ended his marriage when he learnt that his first wife had been unfaithful. Soon after, Vicky tracked him down and they started dating. Throughout their relationship, in the cards Vicky gave to Chris on special occasions, she would always include the line, "Love you to death." Chris was besotted with her. The same couldn't be said of his family, especially his sister Sula.
I personally didn't trust Vicky from the first day I met her. She just came across fake, really fake. Vicky's also the kind of person that will cause the trouble, but somehow she used to come out looking clean.
In November 1994, Chris and Vicky got married. No expense was spared. It was over the top. And they were head over heels in love.
Όλοι να ευχαριστήσω τον άντρα μου, τον Χρήστο, που θέλω να τον πω πως τον αγαπώ πάρα πολύ και πραγματικά τον έχει κάνει την πιο χαρούμενη γυναίκα στον κόσμο.
We had our first child 2 years after we got married. We tried to have more children, but just wasn't happening. So Vicky went on the IVF program, and very blessed in 2008 that we had the twins.
At home and at work, where his business was booming, Chris thought his life and his wife were perfect. But his brother John had misgivings about Vicky.
I couldn't actually pinpoint exactly, but I just knew that the character of that woman was not truthful. She looked conniving from day one. She was not a nice person.
I couldn't see that side of her because I loved her. I did everything she asked me to.
Clothes, luxury holidays, European cars and jewellery, Chris showered Vicky in gifts and cash.
Vicky would get $1,000 a week just for pocket money. Vicky would have a hairdresser come into her house twice a week. She never cooked. They used to eat out all the time. It's a dream life. Whatever she wanted, Vicky got.
But Vicky wanted more. In 2005, at Preston Markets in Melbourne, she met this man, Tony Alexovsky.
I said, what's your name, you know? And she said, my name is Vicky, you know? And I say, my name is Tony, you know? She said, I'm married. And I say, I got a girlfriend too.
They exchanged phone numbers and soon began meeting up in secret.
I'm not gonna say it was a romantic affair, you know, because I didn't feel anything for her, you know? It was just an affair.
It continued for months. Then one night, in this Preston motel, Vicky put a question to Tony that until now he's never spoken publicly about.
What did she ask you?
She said, I want you to kill my husband. And I'm gonna give you $50,000 cash, you know? And like, I was shocked. I said straight away, no. And I said, if you don't love him, why don't you divorce him? I was really shocked. And if I thought for a second, she's serious, you know, and I thought it was a bad joke.
Soon after, Vicky ended their relationship. In December 2006, she turned 40. Her devoted husband bought her a $12,000 dress. He also paid for the lavish birthday bash Vicky had with girlfriends at Crown Casino that night, the night she met her next lover. Ari Dimitrakis was a limo driver who'd once briefly dated Vicky when she was in her 20s. Following their chance meeting at the casino, they began a torrid affair. Vicky sent him erotic cards and texts that contained the words, "Till death do us part." Her betrayal of her husband included having the letter A for Ari tattooed on her wedding ring finger and on the back of her neck, where her hair kept it hidden.
And apparently Ari had a tattoo of her name on his groin. Sick people.
Chris knew nothing, and on January 2nd, 2010, on his 44th birthday, he woke up feeling the luckiest man alive.
It was a beautiful day. Yeah, she gave me a card and a present. It was a white shirt, and the card had some very beautiful words in it. To my dearest husband, thank you for making me the happiest woman in the world. Thank you for loving me so much. The wife that adores you. And then she said, popping out for to go and get some milk. And she was gone for nearly a couple of hours.
A couple of hours to get some milk?
Yeah, then when she came back, I said, how come it took you so long? She said, I had to go and take some money out.
They then got ready for the surprise dinner she'd arranged. At his wife's request, Chris put on the white shirt she'd bought him. Vicky insisted on driving, something she never normally did.
She started driving. She was like, night to night, and she was being very flirtatious. She was grabbing my crotch and saying, come on, we're running late, you know. You're getting the full treat, you know. She was being so flirtatious.
What did you think that was about?
I don't know, I thought it was good. Okay, great.
Happy days.
Gonna get lucky. The restaurant's, see where those traffic lights are?
Yeah.
Yeah, right down there.
But Vicky didn't park anywhere near the restaurant in Fitzroy. Instead, she parked half a kilometre away in a dimly lit street where later that night, a big man in a bright white shirt would be easy to spot.
She turned left to get into a very secluded side street. And I said, oh, where are we going? She goes, oh, I'm just going to park here. We're running very late, so can't be bothered looking for parking.
They then walk to Alpha Uzeri restaurant, arriving at around 9 p.m.
My best friends were there, my best man, Vicky, their wives. Great food, seafood and platters of meat and lots of drinks.
Throughout the night, Vicky was particularly attentive to Chris. She hugged him for this photo and was exuberantly happy. At around 10:30 p.m, Vicky left the table. Chris thought she'd gone outside for a cigarette, but in fact she'd gone to meet her lover to show him where her car was. Earlier that day, she'd supplied him with the intended murder weapon, a 24-centimetre razor-sharp knife from her own kitchen. The knife had been a Christmas present from Chris to Vicky. She then snuck back into the restaurant.
I said, oh, where you been? People are asking about you. She said, oh, I was in the bathroom. During the court proceedings, it was revealed that she was gone for nearly over half an hour.
Doing something you later found out was completely different.
Yeah, she met her lover and told him where the car was parked. Sent shivers down my spine. Knowing that person you loved, treasured, organised to kill you. We were walking back, hugging and laughing. Grabbed me from the jacket and slit my throat. Just a knife being dug into my torso. She must have been watching me just getting killed.
I am guilty of that.
At the end of his surprise birthday dinner, Chris Soteriou and his wife Vicky walked down this street on their way back to their car. It's 11:45 p.m. CCTV vision captures Chris being led by his wife to be killed.
I was carrying leftover drinks in one hand and some presents, and she was carrying another bag. She said, oh, did you have a great night? I said, yeah, I had a great night, and thank you, and just kept thanking her. And we were walking back, hugging and laughing and cuddling and reminiscing how beautiful the night was, and felt as if I was the luckiest man in the world. We're approaching the car, and I saw a guy sitting next to my car, crouching. I asked whether he's breaking into our car, and she quickly replied, no, it's not our car, it's the car behind. She broke away from holding me and deviated into the middle of the street. She was still holding the keys, and she pressed the remote control.
She went into the middle of the road, so she left your side and walked away.
That's correct.
And what did you do?
I just went and questioned this guy to see what he was doing. So I walked along here and I said to him, you all right, mate? And as I lifted my head, he just grabbed me from the jacket and he just slit my throat.
Can you show me?
He slit my throat here. There was no feeling. It was just more shock. Like, whoa. I just felt the blood run down my chest, and I felt this warm fluid running down my body. And it was just happened so fast and so quick. And started throwing punches. I think I hit him across the jaw, the face, and he dropped the knife.
You remember the sound of it?
Yeah, I remember it dropping, and I'm just reaching out. I'm starting to lose conscious and just trying to reach out for Vicky, you know. I'm asking where she is and where are you, and I couldn't hear her, and just yelled out, run, run. And I think I fell against the fence right here. And I just felt just a knife being dug into my torso.
God.
This is where one of the stab wounds is, and
Oh my God, it's so deep. Show me the back. He stabbed you twice at the back.
I remember saying to Vicky, if I don't make it, just look after the kids. And that's it. That's all I remember.
You said you saw Vicky. You think you saw Vicky just watching?
Oh, she must have been watching me just getting killed, yeah, in the middle of the street. Then I remember someone saying to me, stay with me.
Chris lived that night for one reason. Two off-duty doctors were parking their car up the street when they heard him scream. They ran to help. Ari ran away, dropping the knife. While one of the doctors called an ambulance, the other tried to stop the bleeding. Vicky was acting hysterically and began clawing at the doctor's hands.
When Chris was being assisted by the doctor that happened to come by that night, she tried to push his hands away. And the doctor had to stop her and say, Vicky, stop. I'm trying to save your husband. She wanted him dead.
But others were now racing to keep Chris alive. Within 3 minutes, paramedics arrived.
As soon as I got out of the ambulance, I was confronted by a big man. He was lying on his back on the footpath. Beside him was a lady who was screaming, she was wailing, she was hysterical. There was lots of people around.
Chris was taken to the Royal Melbourne Hospital, 9 minutes away.
As we were going along, he was finding it harder and harder to breathe due to his punctured lungs, and his vital signs were all going the wrong way, to the point that when we arrived at the hospital, he had no blood pressure at all, and at that point, I didn't think he was going to survive.
But I didn't feel any pain. No pain. Just, I went to sleep peacefully. Yeah.
At that moment, you saw a bright light.
Yeah, just a bright light. That's all I could see.
You were certain that this was death.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Rushed to the hospital, and I saw my brother just lying naked on the bed, and the first thing that I've noticed was the cut under his neck. And I prayed.
The night that they took him in, he was touch and go. They actually didn't think he was going to make it.
The police were trying to tell me that it was a robbery that went wrong. And I just couldn't swallow it. And I said to the cops, I said, this is bullshit. I can't believe that. There is no way a robbery would have gone wrong when Vicky was standing next to him with $50,000 worth of jewelry on her.
Chris was in a coma for 10 days.
I remember the day he woke up. We were all celebrating. So happy because he was actually he's going to be fine. And I took one look at Vicky. I remember my brother had his arm around her and he's saying, isn't this great, Vicky? It's fantastic, he's going to live. She was miles away. We left the hospital and I was with my mum. And I remember saying to her, Mum, that Vicky, she's playing us. She goes, Sula, how can you be so heartless? She goes, she's, going through depression. I said, Mum, no, something, I don't know, it doesn't seem right.
I believe that Vicky, in her own mind, thought by killing Chris, hiding all the evidence, no one would ever find out that she was the evil person behind it.
She was living a double life, being the perfect wife, and then at night she was out with a boyfriend, planning my brother's death.
First time I remember seeing Vicky was when I woke up and she was crying over me and I felt her tears. And she said, once I get out, she wanted to go to Greece for a long time and grab the kids and just go away for a long time. And I said, okay, hon, no worries. Everything will be okay, I said.
When Vicky led her unsuspecting husband to be ambushed by her lover, her motive was money as much as it was lust.
As a divorced husband, I was probably worth $3 million. As a dead husband, I was probably worth $7 million.
In hospital, in a coma, Chris fought to live. By his bedside, Vicky played the distraught wife.
Vicky wanted to be the victim, the poor widower. She wanted to play the whole scene.
But suspicion began to fall on Vicky, and police hinted as much to Chris's brother John. 10 days after Chris was stabbed, he woke from his coma. John was there. It was early in the morning.
He woke up and he said, "Where's Vicky? Tell Vicky I love her." And I'm standing there and I'm saying, "Hey, bro, only if you knew."
Gave me a big kiss and a hug. And he said to me that, mate, the police have got him. They're moving in. And I whispered to him, "Oh, that's great. Who are they?" And he said, "Oh, they won't tell me."
I knew at that moment that I'm going to break his heart if I would have told him.
Vicky came around 9 o'clock in the morning. I conveyed the same news to her. The police are moving in and they're about to make an arrest.
What did she do?
She turned pale.
That same day, a panicked Vicky rang police to tell them that she suspected her lover, Ari Dimitrakis, was responsible. Later that day, she went alone to Richmond Police Station.
I've just come to confess that Ari and I had organised it.
Okay. I don't understand why you would want your husband killed. Can you explain why?
Well, because I know it was stupid, absolutely silly, I know.
It was just the strangest thing you've ever seen. A woman sitting there admitting that she wanted to kill her husband and still not really being responsible for what had happened.
Who did the actual stabbing?
I don't know.
Was it Ari?
I honestly, I don't know. I think so, but I don't know.
When I spoke to her just prior to the second interview, she tried to appeal to my motherly side that, oh, my children, you know, who's going to look after my children?
Jenny Paxton was a senior constable on the investigation team. She believes that Vicky, who'd regularly spoken to detectives at the hospital, had formed the mistaken view that they were her friends and that she could manipulate them.
I think she thought she'd gained quite a good rapport with the two investigators, and I think she felt comfortable that, you know, they're just going to let me go.
I don't want to say anything, Matthew, anymore.
They were just going to sort of, okay, Vicky, look, that was a silly thing to do.
Matthew, please, I'm here. All I've got to say is that I've organised it with Ari. That's all. And I'm sorry for it. I am.
I was outside in the backyard when I got the phone call from my husband. And he goes, it was Vicky. I just felt so sick. I screamed. The tears were just like flowing, couldn't stop. I just thought, you bitch. You bitch.
The next day, the family and police went to break the news to Chris.
I said to him, hey, brother. I said, I got him. He goes, yeah. He goes, yes. He goes, who are they, John? Tell me who they are. I said, it's Vicky and her lover.
Chris just lost it. He wanted to rip all his tubes off. He goes, no. And we say, yes, Chris. It was about 5 of us trying to just calm him down.
I remember he wanted to jump in the window. He wanted to die. He wanted to die.
Back at the police station, Vicky wanted her lover to take the fall. She claimed that Ari had stalked her and her children for months before finally forcing her to join his murder plot.
Why did you want Chris dead?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really. He kept forcing me. He just kept mentioning it, and I just thought, yeah, all right. It was basically like that.
Ari also lied and denied.
It's alleged that you and Vicky Soteriou planned to murder Chris Soteriou. How did Ari know where your car would be parked?
Because we had planned it.
Okay.
Upon Chris returning to his car, he then stabbed him 6 times to the body and once across the throat in an attempt to murder him.
No way. Were you in love with Chris still?
I don't want to talk. Please, Matthew.
But there was no way she or Ari were going to walk free. And when that didn't happen, Vicky's bravado broke down.
Yes, realisation dawned and her whole world collapsed.
In late 2011, she went to trial and pleaded not guilty. The jury didn't believe her. Judge Elizabeth Curtin was scathing about the depth of Vicky's betrayal of her husband.
Your husband had provided you with an affluent lifestyle, and it appears from the sentiments expressed in the birthday card that you were prepared to have him believe that he was loved and appreciated in return. In truth, you wanted him dead.
But Vicky's family refused to accept the truth.
They tried to turn everything on you.
They did.
They tried to say that you had yourself attacked, is that right?
One of the affidavits I read in court was that I organised my own murder plot.
And worse was to come. Before she was convicted, Vicky, in an act of pure evil, told their daughter, Marie, the same twisted story, convincing the teenager that her father had masterminded his own stabbing to frame her mum. Marie and Chris have been estranged ever since.
If Marie is watching this now, what would you like to say to her?
I hope she's okay. And this is my story. This is the truth. And my door will always be open.
Vicky Soteriou, You have been found guilty by jury verdict of the attempted murder of your husband, Chris Soteriou.
As soon as I heard she was guilty, I just clapped. And then the whole court just clapped. And then we all started crying from joy that she's going to get punished for this.
You are convicted and sentenced for the crime of attempted murder to 12 years imprisonment.
It's taken a long time, but physically and mentally, Chris is in a good place.
Dad, go very hard. Very hard.
He's so grateful he survived and is around to see his twins grow up. Have you been able to explain this to your little twins?
They've actually asked me where their mother is. And that was as a result of a little girl seeing my scars on my body. We were at the beach one day and she asked who did that, and I said, Mummy did it. And, you know, that's all I said. And they asked where their mum is and told them she's in jail. And that's it. That's one of the questions that I'm really challenged with. How do I tell them?
Just the will to get over something like this is just absolutely brilliant. But he's also lucky that he's met a new partner who is standing by him and loving him and also bringing the children like they are her own. He's got a second chance.
His new partner was a little shy about appearing on air, but let's just say, after all the hurt he's suffered, Chris has finally found true love.
She's a beautiful soul.
How grateful are you to her?
Enough. I don't spoil her as I used to spoil Vicky, but I'm very grateful that we found each other and we have an opportunity to hopefully grow old together.